It's Monday, January 29. In the headlines, KSAMC moving to tighten building inspection process. In business news, JSE to facilitate investments in climate-related securities. Regionally, Barbados is more than a vacation destination. And in sports, historic victory. Windies beat Australia down under. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Jamaicans can now review building permit applications on the KSAMC's website. Among its responsibilities, the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, conducts building inspection and permit process for developments. Mayor of Kingston, Senator Councillor Delroy Williams addressed the matter while making his contribution to the 2023-2024 State of the Nation debate in the Senate on Friday. Senator Williams says residents were previously only aware of developments by the posting of notices at construction sites or after approvals were done.
You can view the stages of consideration of the application, make and view objections, view stages of approval, and much more.
He explained that the building committee comprises members from a wide range of agencies, ministries, and civil society.
So you are able to do your checks, raise your concerns or objections. And those concerns or objections they must be presented to the building committee in its consideration of the application.
Senator Williams notes that building out the complement of inspectors is to ensure that no one officer will review a development at all of its stages.
I mentioned to you earlier that since 2019, on average, we have about 900 applications per year, and we only have 5 inspectors. Mr. President, you would recall we mentioned the 4,500 building applications between 2019 and 2023. On average, that is approximately 900 applications per year. With 5 inspectors, Mr. President, I must therefore state that the municipality is staffed well beneath the prescribed number of technical experts.
Meanwhile, Senator Williams says the KSAMC is taking steps to rectify deficiencies.
The Director of Corruption Prosecution found that the KSAMC demonstrated gross negligence in their duties as building officers. She concluded that this amounted to administrative breaches. She found that the investigations did not reveal any acts of corruption, and all necessary training is done. These steps will be placed along with an investigation of what the officers did or failed to do and obtaining detailed statements from them.
The report has sought to review the corporation's processes in respect of the granting of building and planning permits and the monitoring of post-permit construction at 11 Charlemont Drive, Kingston 6. Reggae Month 2024 got its blessing on Sunday at Fellowship Tabernacle. The church service was the initial activity, signaling the start of month-long activities. Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Olivia Babsy-Grange, was among those in attendance. Danita Rodney reports on the minister's address and greetings from the tourism ministry.
Minister Grange says reggae is not just a genre, it is a way of life that transcends borders and speaks to the soul.
We have a plethora of events lined up, including tributes to reggae icons, symposiums, and a flurry of activities across the entire island. Specifically, Negril is renowned as the entertainment hub of Jamaica, and it will host events almost every night. I encourage everyone to download the Reggae Jamaica app from Google Play Store or the Apple Store to have a detailed look at the calendar.
She says the app will be the main avenue for information on planned activities starting February 1.
We will kick off the event starting with a tribute to Dennis Brown, the Crown Prince of Reggae, at the Vera Moody Hall, Edna Manley College. Other core Reggae Month events include the musical tribute to Bob Marley at Emancipation Park, the Reggae Gold Awards, recognizing all those who have contributed to the development of the music, and Young Reggae Ambassadors, which we are preparing the next generation to take over.
Meanwhile, reflecting on previous celebrations, Director of the Tourism Linkages Network, Mrs. Caroline McDonald-Riley, says the annual event has grown eagerly over the years.
We always anticipate drawing a number of visitors at different times for this month-long experience. It is a testament to the enduring appeal and the cultural significance of what we are about.
February was officially declared Reggae Month in 2008. The month is dedicated to recognizing and appreciating the influence of reggae music on Jamaica's social, cultural, and economic landscape. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I'm Danita Rodney.
Jamaicans are being encouraged to eat more local produce. Speaking in a recent JIS Get the Facts interview, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green, said the COVID-19 pandemic brought into sharp focus the importance of investing in the agricultural sector from an individual to a governance level.
When they go out there and they farm and provide that supply, we need an outlet. And we as consumers must make decisions that prioritize our farmers and fishers.
He says Jamaica is self-sufficient in certain produce and others are being prioritized. It is imperative that the education sector provide an enabling environment for developing students' abilities and channeling them in the direction of creativity, innovation and productivity. Those were the thoughts of Minister of Education Favour Williams during this year's Forum for Innovations in Teaching. Danita Rodney tells us more.
Education Minister Favour Williams, during her statement, said that the establishment of Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics STEM and Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts and Mathematics STEAM institutions, expanded access to broadband services, laptops for students and teachers, and other teaching aids into the local education sector are aimed at spurring better outcomes from schools, as the education of young people is not an end. She says the use of technology is to enable our students to take their place in the global community. Minister Williams once again reiterated the ministry's commitment to transforming the education sector through the use of technology, commending teachers for their work, and encouraged the sharing of best practices and innovative ideas. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I'm Danita Rodney.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, your guide through the latest happenings in the world of business. Investors can look out for dividends from two announcements made on Friday. Cargo Handlers Limited has advised that at a meeting of the Board of Directors scheduled for February 8, 2024, the directors will consider the payment of an interim dividend for the year 2024. Additionally, Access Financial Services Limited has declared a dividend of 12 cents per share payable on February 23, 2024 to shareholders on record as at February 9, 2024. The ex-dividend date is February 8, 2024. Investing in climate-related securities will be facilitated by the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, during the JSC's 19th Regional Investment and Capital Markets Conference last week, announced that Jamaica is set to become the first Caribbean marketplace to facilitate the issuance of green, blue, and other sustainable colored bonds. Clark explained that blue, is maritime, green is for climate, and then there are other colors as well. This will be a very important step because investors who invest in these kind of instruments want to know that the criteria for calling something green or blue is very firmly established. Later this year, the Jamaica Stock Exchange will be in a position to be the first stock exchange in the region to support these bonds in a rigid framework where everybody has confidence about what it means, stated the minister. During trading on January 26, 2024, the top advancing stocks covered the investment banking, real estate, and insurance sectors on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. First Rock Capital Holdings Limited US dollar shares advanced by 24.19% for a modest 1 cent gain to close at 5 cents, with 70,000 shares traded. 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited variable preference shares advanced by 15% for a jump of $28.84 to close at $221.12 with 2 shares traded. Iron Rock Insurance Company Limited shares advanced by 14.76% for a movement of 31 cents to close at $2.41 with 449 shares traded. On the declining stocks that traders experienced on January 26, 2024, the top 3 losers covered investment banking, distribution, and manufacturing sectors. Epley 7.75% shares declined by 21.22% for a sliding price of $4.87 to close at $18.08 with 1,000 shares traded. AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited declined by 11.86% for a downward movement of 35 cents to close at $2.60 with 126,000 shares traded. Blue Power Group Limited declined by 9.09% for a slide of 30 cents to close at $3 with 62,000 shares traded. Over on the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, on the first tier market, registered a volume of 42,000 shares crossing the floor of the exchange, valued at 544,000 Trinidad and Tobago dollars. National Enterprises Limited was the volume leader with 13,000 shares changing hands for a value of 49,000 TT dollars, followed by the West Indian Tobacco Company Limited with a volume of 7,000 shares being traded for 64,000 TT dollars. Calypso Macro Index Fund was the only active security on the mutual fund market, posting a volume of 60 shares valued at 1,389,000 TT dollars. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies, we turn to the Forex market. On January 26, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $34.5 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $28.5 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $156.55 and bought the US dollars for $155.53. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.02, which represents a profit for Forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian Forex traders earned a trading profit of $6 from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold for $117.90 and bought for $111.90. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of 91 cents, selling the British pound for $199.71 and buying the British pound for $198.80. For our credit report tip of the day, be aware that your credit report isn't just a financial snapshot. It's a key that can unlock the doors to significant investment growth. A solid credit report signals financial responsibility. This credibility can pave the way for favorable interest rates on loans or credit lines. Lower borrowing costs means your capital at your disposal for strategic investments. Before we end this week's business report, let's check in with Danita Rodney, who will tell us about this week's Young Boss.
Welcome to another episode of Young Bosses. I'm Danita Rodney. From selling hair to fruits, this week's Young Boss has been a budding entrepreneur from an early age, and now she is into the business of transport. She is Sky Transport CEO Roxine Miller.
Hi, my name is Roxine Miller and I'm the CEO of Sky Transport. So Sky Transport is a business that was initially founded in 2022. Talks about Sky Transport went back to 2018 when I just started college. It was supposed to be a transport business to take out college students to show them Jamaica, since I'm from St. Elizabeth and I was going to university in Kingston, so we would do excursions. It was supposed to be Sky Bell, but Miss Bell is now an engineer, and I just stuck to the dream during COVID, when there wasn't much going on and I was still at home. So right now I do delivery of barrels, I transport people to and from the airport. I also transport aggregate through contracts I get through heavy duty trucks. I always knew I wanted to be a business owner, like just to have something for myself. I used to sell coconuts out of the back of my car in university. I used to sell tarpaulins for trucks. I started a wig business at one time, but I figured I liked driving. I loved interacting with people, and I just loved the truck life and so on. So I took a chance, sold my car, bought a van, and just decided to try this specific aspect of business. The response from customers, it's been good. It's improved since the past year. It was hard initially because I only had social media to advertise my business, but now through having a van that has the poster on the back and going to more places, people see it and will use my service more. So it's a good response right now. 100% better. I started call it with a car, even though I sold the car to further push the business. But when it started, I only had like one customer for the month. And now I will be busy for the entire week and have multiple customers or multiple jobs that I can go to. So it's been steadily improving. Don't worry, everything is going to work out. Like, I've learned to just let things take its course. Don't worry too much. Once you stay consistent, once you're positive, once you're praying, once you put it in the work, it will all work out. I used to work myself up over small issues or even big issues. I would just freak out about, go crazy about it. But now I just stay relaxed and just know that once I'm continuously working, putting in the energy, then it will all work out one way or the other. My favorite part is for my job creating my own schedule. As much as I have deadlines to meet, customers need their packages and so on, it's the freedom to choose the dates, give the dates that you're available, even though I'm not really available a lot because it's really busy, but just freedom to go where I want to go and do what I need to do. My future plans for Sky Transport, God's willing, I will be purchasing trucks of my own, heavy-duty tipper trucks and trailers with trailer bodies, and we'll be going more into the transport aspect and aggregate and just more things to do with trucks, basically. My advice would be to start small, and also there's nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with working at a call center first, or even continue to work at the call center while you're doing your business. Your business will not really give you the money to pay rent, put food on your table, all of that within the first year or even 2, because you're just starting. So it's better to have a steady job, and then you put the money towards aside your business step by step. So have a steady income first, and then use that to start your business and get it going. All right, so persons can contact me, Miss Miller, at 837-9504. I also have an Instagram page for Sky Transport. It's SKAI and the word transport, and we are also on Facebook.
And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed. Stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
In regional news, in Trinidad and Tobago, a sample survey that assessed close to 9,000 households will form the basis for policy, research, and general information about the circumstances facing women and children. The data collection was done by the Central Statistical Office with technical support coming from the United Nations Children's Fund. The disclosure was made at the launch of CSO's digital database suite and portal.
Some challenges affecting women and children were highlighted in a report conducted by a collaborative effort between the Central Statistical Office, or CSO, and United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. During the launch of the report, United Nations Resident Coordinator Joanna Kazana indicated a high level of children were not being immunized due to the way the COVID-19 pandemic interrupted access to medical services.
But more generally, what we are also observing in Trinidad and Tobago, but also in other countries, that in the post-COVID environment, the number of non-immunized infants and young children is going up. It has increased substantially from 12% non-immunized infants and young children in 2011 now to 26% in the current report.
She said there was a notable drop in attendance at the early childhood development centres and noted the disparity in outcomes between boys and girls at the secondary school level. She said completion rates for girls are higher than for boys.
Boys and girls learn in different ways. Boys and girls require different approaches in terms of motivation, in terms of their access to information and knowledge that continues to be relevant for them and makes them engaged and interested and makes them succeed in educational settings. We are very, very nervous about the boys, not only in the education environment, but also in general, in terms of the other pressures that they are facing in the society today.
During his vote of thanks, head of the CSO, Andre Blanchard, appealed to users of the database to extract every grain of usefulness from the compiled report and said he hoped that it would improve lives. He said the CSO's next mission would be to release information on income and expenditure and the status of living conditions of the citizens.
Hundreds of people flying into Barbados for the recently concluded FinTech Islands Conference. The Barbados Tourism Market, Inc. is highlighting the island as the ultimate destination for those types of events.
The Barbados Tourism and Marketing Inc. continues to cement Barbados as a year-round destination, not just for vacations, but for business.
Well, conferences on the whole are extremely important. The entire MICE market, which is the meetings, incentives, conferences, and events, is really and truly a good platform for us to always leverage our tourism industry, and our tourism experiences. And these conferences help us to create Barbados as an all-season destination. And we anticipate that we'll have a lot more conferences this year.
She says conferences are big business for tourism.
If you think about the fact that for every conference you have about 400 or 500 people on island, and you have about 15, 20 big conferences per year, that tells you that it really and truly delves into actual spend on island in terms of increasing the spend on island, but also increasing the opportunities for persons to be able to traverse the island, experience the island, and bring their relatives and family back for a real vacation.
Dana Gilbert, Director of Groups, Conventions and Special Events at Wyndham Grand Barbados, Sam Lawrence Castle, says they have adequate accommodation to meet the demand.
Wyndham was actually designed with this type of clientele in mind, so we're aggressively going after the MICE market, which is the meetings, incentives, conventions and events. So as you can see, our conference facility is the largest in this hemisphere, and we are able to do accommodation plus conference packages in one. So we are really the mecca for these types of businesses. We've been getting a resounding amount of leads coming in. People are requesting to do conferences of up to 1,000 people, so we're exploring all possibilities.
A number of conferences are expected on island in 2024. Crystal Hoyt, CBC News.
During this year's staging of the Anthony Huck Jr. Junkanoo Parade, Bahamian Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin has announced that Junkanoo will be heading to classrooms in the country.
We have made a determination that we are going to incorporate Junkanoo into the curriculum. It follows on the heel of the UNESCO hearing, where we submitted that Junkanoo is an intangible cultural world heritage. They agreed, and this is raising up Junkanoo to the world. And we now have to ensure that our children and young people understand the mechanics of it, the dynamics of it, the music, the craft, the history.
In sports, Mount Pleasant FA and Portmore United won the fixtures in the J. Ray and Nephew Premier League against Dumbarholden FC and Treasure Beach respectively on Sunday. Mount Pleasant FA beat Dumbarholden 2-1 at Dumbarholden, while Portmore United were 3-1 winners over Treasure Beach at the Stets Sports Complex in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth. And on the pitch, we head to cricket. Congratulations are still pouring in since West Indies Test team secured a historic victory over Australia, marking the first since 1997. The West Indies senior men pulled off a scintillating 8-run win against Australia to level the two-match series 1-1. This remarkable achievement signals the relevance of West Indies cricket on the global test stage and underscores its unwavering commitment to excellence.
Australia began day 4 needing 156 runs to win the game, while the West Indies needed 8 wickets. The game was 80% in favour of the home side due to Steve Smith's unbeaten 91 until Shamar Joseph took the attack. He swallowed the pain from an injured toe, bowling with pace, accuracy and passion. He delivered 11.5 overs, taking 7 wickets for 68 runs to lead the historic West Indian fairy tale win. Alzari Joseph assisted with 2 for 62, the West Indies winning by 8 wickets in dramatic style and levelled the 2-match test series against the world champions. This win also broke a 27-year test match winning drought against Australia, the last time being in 1997. Shamar Joseph, for his brilliance in both matches, was awarded Player of the Series.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica.